Hey everybody, today I'm coming to you from Gettysburg National Military Park, and I came back here to do my return, I guess you could say, after a year's hiatus. Came out here for this lovely Memorial Day weekend, and it's raining. It's been raining non-stop for the last 24 hours. I mean it hasn't stopped one time. I can't help but think of that one part of Forrest Gump when he was in Vietnam, and he said one day it started to rain and it didn't stop for 4 months. Anyway, so where we are right now is the area of Oak Hill. This is on the northern end of the battlefield. Most of what happened on here happened on the first day. See, we got the observation tower for Oak Hill right over there. Over there we got another memorial, and over this way we got some woods. Now, interesting thing happened on this particular part of the battlefield was the first day, as well known, was a lot of confusion. The attacks were having a hard time being coordinated. Everyone was kind of falling all over themselves, falling all over each other. It was kind of a big mess, the way it all kind of panned out. And so what went down was, how do we say this? The boys wanted their fame and glory. They knew, a lot of the guys were feeling, coming up from the south, that this was the last hurrah. This was the one that was going to finally, make the Yankees quit, and everyone's going to go home and to a parade of glory, and everything's going to be wonderful. And they came up here ready to just deliver that final punch and go home. But at the same time, they wanted, a lot of the younger guys wanted their fame and glory, had their part in the last big hurrah, so to speak. So when they were up here in Gettysburg, they kind of say, not all of them, but many of them just kind of charged in headlong without really looking at things ahead of time, so to speak. Part of this came from there not being Jeb Stuart around, because there was no cavalry, so they were going in blind. But still, even then, a lot of the men wanted their fame and glory. In this area where I'm at of Oak Hill, this was where General Rhodes of the 3rd Corps came in. Now, Rhodes, this is his first time really in field command as a division commander. And so he's still trying to figure out the best way to coordinate his division. So he's out here, and his brigades aren't organized really by any sense of the imagination. They're all attacking independently instead of as a unit, and they're hitting they get a good start because they're hitting the Union position from the flank up in the north, and they set up doing well against the 1st Corps. After a while, things go pretty bad pretty quick when they're hitting a great number of fortified Union positions. The Yankees are dug in. Yeah, they're here, but they're dug in, they're defending. It's always easier to defend than to attack. And so, at the end of the first day, Rhodes's brigade went from an estimated 8,000 men, and they having lost upwards of 3,100 men. Except for, if the math's right, I'm not a mathematician, the math's right, it's around 39% casualties, someone was saying one time. Pretty bad. And I kind of went without saying that they did what they could to keep that information from General Lee, because they didn't want him knowing that he dropped the ball that bad on his first outing. He kind of did the same thing. He kind of got chewed up and spat out at the same time as well when he was attacking from Hers Ridge. Now, one thing that's similar to this would happen literally about 55 years later. Only this time it was to be in northern France. It was on November 11th, or 10th, however you want to look at it, November 10th, 1918. The day that the war was going to end, the armistice, the fighting was going to stop that day. And there were a lot of American boys over there who really hadn't seen much in terms of anything praiseworthy. What I mean is, like, they weren't getting their fame and glory. So many boys from the United States Army decided they were going to stick it to the Germans really good on that last day of the war. And it's estimated on the last day of the war, over 10,000 American lives were lost. Because we had a bunch of guys trying to be glory hunters, trying to get their fame and glory out there. Kind of what happened with a lot of the boys from the Confederate side coming here at Gettysburg. Not all of them, but many of them wanted their fame and glory, which is why they charged in so recklessly a lot of times. Because Rhodes came in from the north, and he was all over the place. And, he hit the Union 1st Corps hard, but they kind of took General Early coming up on his left side to kind of stabilize that. So these two situations I've described to you kind of give a whole new meaning to the term overzealous. So with that, more of that to come.